Hey everybody, Antoni here with a review of Rossini's Il Viaggio a Reims with conductor Giacomo Sagripanti, which was live from the Gran Teatre del Liceu. I am so excited to talk about this particular transmission because of the star-studded cast. Not only did it consist of some veterans like Carlos Chausson and Pietro Spinelli, but also some fresh-faced, fabulous, and absolutely amazing Bel Canto singers of the recent year. So let's not waste any time and talk about them right now, starting off with Ruth Iniesta as Madama Cortese. And she has an absolutely brilliant, gorgeous, and lovely lyric soprano voice which can reach the heights of a true coloratura soprano. From what I can tell about Miss Iniesta, she seems to specialize in a lot of the light lyric and full lyric soprano parts, though mostly specializing in the former with a few hints of coloratura here and there. And from what I heard in her performance as Madama Cortese, I can definitely attest that she has an absolutely pliable voice which made her so ideal for singing all of these florid and exceptionally tough yet exciting lines. Yes, I would have loved to have a true dramatic coloratura soprano a la Joan Sutherland, Christina Durtecom, Rita Shane, Edda Molza, Ursula Kossuth, Edita Gruberova, Luciana Serra, Mariela Devia, June Anderson, and what we even have today with the likes of Elena Moshuk, Diana Damrau, Clara Kolonitz, Jessica Pratt, Albina Shagimuratova, Marina Rebecca, and Yana Srema Katsirkova, but I digress. I still have to give Ruth Iniesta a lot of credit for everything she was able to accomplish as a fine singing actress. Her arias were so beautifully sung as they had that focused, evidenced in her clean and clear tone. Even more so, she put in a lot of beauty and grace which made her interpretation of Madama Cortese come to life. And I cannot wait to see what brilliant future she has, as she is an absolutely brilliant young talent who is on the cusp of great success. Then we have the equally gorgeous, fascinating, and absolutely brilliant Irina Lungu as Corinna. And boy, did she have an ideal voice for this lyrically graceful role. She is very well known for her creamy and rich tone, which has a great amount of agility. And for that, the role of Corinna fits her like a glove. She also has that beauty, nobility, and grace about her, which made her succeed in this role with flying colors. And more than anything, her musicianship was absolutely peerless. She was also able to hit her high notes so well and so clearly that there were times I was on the edge of my seat. She has always been an elegant and consummate singing actress, and she knew how to put that creamy, luscious, rich, and lovely lyric soprano voice, which can hit the heights of a dramatic coloratura soprano, to exceptional use. So, brava to you, Signora Lungu. You made an absolutely great impression in this role, all thanks to your great artistry and, of course, that great technique found in your lyric soprano voice, which has all the possibilities of a true dramatic coloratura soprano. Maite Beaumont was absolutely charming and elegant as Marchesa Melibea, and it's all thanks to her focused and clear lyric mezzo voice that she was able to make this particular character come to life. She infused a certain grace to this particular character, and she was able to put her great musicianship to use. And for that, I have to give her so much credit where credit is due, as she was flawless as a singing actress, and she knew how to pay close attention to how she paced herself, and she succeeded with flying colors. Sabina Puertolas was energetic as La Contessa de Folleville, and yes, her voice does sound fuller than many a typical light lyric coloratura soprano, but I still have to give her so much credit because of what she was able to do with this fun character. She was extremely spot on with all of her high notes that it was exciting, and there was so much charisma and enthusiasm to be found in Senora Puertolas' portrayal as La Contessa de Folleville. As I stated before, her voice does sound richer and fuller in comparison to a lot of the light lyric coloratura sopranos who would sing this role, and my ideal voice for this particular part would be voices like Réry Grist, Madame Esplé, Madel Robon, Nathalie Dessay, and even what we've been having today with the likes of Maria Aleida, Christina Johnston, Kelly Curtin, and Holly Flack, just to name a few. However, I digress. I still have to give my hat off to Sabina Puertolas for putting in so much to this absolutely fun character, as she was able to be charismatic, charming, and an absolute thrill to listen to. Lawrence Brownlee was able to combine an aristocratic nobility to Conte de Liebenshoff, but also his trademark, peerless, and absolutely fabulous musicianship to make this character come to life. There was always something so exciting about Mr. Brownlee's voice in which it can reach certain heights, and he does so in a way which made him stand out so exceptionally. He was able to bring in great style to this particular character, and he was able to hit all of his high notes with equally great accuracy. But more than anything, he was an absolutely great musician, as evidenced by his clean and focused lyric tenor voice, which can reach great heights, and he was able to accomplish so much with Conte de Liebenshoff in terms of his music that I was on the edge of my seat every time he opened his mouth to sing. Taylor Staton was a handsome, charming, dashing, and absolutely charismatic Cavaliere Belfiore with his trademark light lyric tenor voice, which has that youthfulness and that clarity which made him so well known. He certainly did an amazing job with this fun and absolutely dashing character. His musicianship and his technique were of the highest order, and for that, he definitely took my heart away every time he opened his mouth to sing. He was a peerless singing actor, as he was able to make great use of his light lyric tenor voice, which was dashing in tone and absolutely amazing in quality. Carlos Chausson was handsome and absolutely virile as Il Barone di Trombonok, and yes, his voice does show a fair amount of age given the fact that he is in his mid-60s, but it still has that nice, rich, and round quality of a bass baritone and basso cantante, which has made him very well known all around the world. And yes, even though I would have loved to have a dramatic baritone sing this particular part, I still have to give a lot of credit to Carlos Chausson for everything he accomplished as Il Barone di Trombonok. He was focused in his intonation, and as a veteran opera singer, he certainly brought in so much of his experience to the stage, as he's been very well known for comic parts like this and even the Bel Canto repertoire in general. He definitely brought in a lot of experience as an Italianate singer, and he did so in a way which made him exceed with flying colors. He brought in not only a great amount of comic timing to Barone di Trombonok, but also dignity, peerless musicianship, and loads of charm. Manel Esteve was noble, dashing, and an absolute charmer as Don Alvaro, with his youthful, handsome, dashing, and well-focused cavalier baritone voice. He made a lot of great music with this particular character. This was the first time I heard about this baritone, and he made a great impression on me. He has that richness and focus which has made him stand out exceptionally, and I would really love to hear a lot more of him. Pietro Spinelli was charismatic, endearing, fun, and absolutely grand as Don Profundo. And while I would have loved to have either a basso profondo or a basso cantante sing this particular part, a la voices like, let's say, Karl Ridderbusch or Giulio Neri, or many other of the great basso profondos and even cantantes of the past, I still have to give a lot of credit to Signore Spinelli in terms of his great musicianship, great attention to detail, and of course, his peerless skills as a bel canto singer. There was not one moment in which Pietro Spinelli skimped out on such a beautiful and graceful tone. In fact, he was absolutely flawless in terms of his voice. It had focus, it had clarity, and it had charm, which made him accessible, and on top of that, famous as an Italianate singer. It should come off as no surprise that Pietro Spinelli has been specializing in a great deal of both the baritone roles and even some bass baritone roles, but more than anything, his timbre and his emission are more on the baritone side, meaning that he did specialize in roles like Belcore from L'Elisir d'Amore and Figaro from Il Barbiere di Siviglia, and even did some comic roles like Dulcamara from L'Elisir d'Amore, just to name a few. And it's safe to say that he brought in so much experience in this particular role that I can definitely hear it. So I sincerely have to give my hat off to Signore Pietro Spinelli for a job well done. Roberto Tagliavini was grand and awesome as Lord Sidney, with his rich, round, and focused basso cantante voice. He was able to bring in a great amount of musicianship to this particular character. There was a certain nobility and richness to be found in his voice, and for that, he was able to sweep me off my feet. His phrasing was also something that was laudable about him. And when you have someone like Roberto Tagliavini who combines great and peerless musicianship with some impeccable phrasing, then this is definitely a singing actor one must listen and see for oneself because of everything he accomplished and, of course, everything he did with Lord Sidney in terms of really getting his nobility down to a T and making sure that every single note came out flawlessly, which he accomplished with flying colors. Alessio Cacciamanni was equally virile and charming as Don Prudencio, and it's all thanks to his basso cantante voice that he was able to make this short yet absolutely brilliant character come to life. He really knew how to use that said basso cantante voice to the greatest of his abilities, and for that, his efforts as a great singer were all laudable. Carles Pachon was handsome and an absolute charmer as Antonio, with his youthful and absolutely commanding lyric baritone voice. This is a young talent who has a great future ahead of him. Mind you, he is all but 23 years old, but from what I can tell, this is definitely someone who is on the cusp of having a brilliant and magical career ahead of him. Jorge Frankel used his sweet, lyric tenor voice to make the role of Don Luigino come to life. And this gentleman managed to use his great musicianship to make this short yet brilliant character feel so lively. He has a clean and clear tone which has made him accessible to all of these wonderful bel canto parts, and more than anything, he was absolutely fine as not only a singer but also an actor. We also had such brilliant singing from Bennett Ejerte's gorgeous and absolutely fine Zeffirino and Gelsomino, Marzia Marzo's elegant Maddalena, Tamara Gura's well-focused and clean-sounding Modestina, and Paula Sanchez Valverde's delightful Delia. So overall, the singing from all of these fine bel canto stars was absolutely phenomenal. Not only from the veterans consisting of Carlos Chausson and Pietro Spinelli, but also Ruth Iniesta, Maite Beaumont, Irina Lungu, Sabina Puertolas, Lawrence Brownlee, Taylor Staton, Manel Esteve, Roberto Tagliavini, Alessio Cacciamanni, and many other great singers who contributed their efforts so wonderfully in this transmission of Rossini's Il Viaggio a Reims. And the conducting done by Giacomo Sacripanti was absolutely gorgeous. He made sure that the orchestra went together, and he also made sure that the singers stayed on key and cue, and of course the orchestra of the Gran Teatre del Liceu was absolutely fine all the way through. So overall, with such exceptional singing from everyone who took part in this transmission of Rossini's Il Viaggio a Reims, and even some fine conducting, I certainly have to say that this is a must listen. And for those of you who listened to this particular transmission of Rossini's Il Viaggio a Reims live from the Gran Teatre del Liceu, what'd you think of it? Was there a singer you enjoyed the most? Did you feel like the singing overall was flawless, whether it be from Carlos Chausson, Pietro Spinelli, Irina Lungu, Ruth Iniesta, Lawrence Brownlee, Taylor Staton, or many of the singers who participated? Or was there someone who stuck out like a sore thumb? Comment below and let me know. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to tune in later for my album review of Jonas Kaufmann L'Opera. So until then, have a great day, everybody.